Coming up on Look Today, well, the debate over the Warren County Airport runway expansion continues. I've got details. And the 5th annual Trask Art Show took place to raise money for the Saratoga Preservation Foundation. We were there. More on that coming up. And George Thorogood is named Honorary Mayor of the Day in Glens Falls. Yes, you heard that correctly. I've got all these details all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone and happy Friday. I'm J. Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Steve Rusbacki. He's a Green Party candidate and he's running for the 45th District State Senate seat. He's here to talk about his background and how that affects his political philosophy. I also sit down with Jackie Orr. Now, she's an athlete and she's here to talk about her participation in the Wine Glass Marathon to raise money for Angelman syndrome. Very interesting interview. Plus, we also got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, there's a lot of debate surrounding the proposed expansion of the Floyd Bennett Memorial Airport in Queensbury. Now, the proposal made by the Warren County Board of Supervisors would expand the runway from 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. Now, those in favor believe that it will encourage business because bigger aircraft could stop to purchase fuel. And those against the expansion argue that the expense is uncalled for given the county is already in a budget deficit. Others argue that the Warren County Airport is not commercial. And one Warren County resident made mention of another airport that does well for business despite its size.
We've done a significant amount of research on this project, and I do beg to differ with you on the difference between the 5,000 and the 6,000 square feet. Chicago Midway Airport is only a 5,000-foot runway, and if you've been there recently, you realize what a busy airport that is. Saratoga Airport has 200 acres versus our 600 acres, and they're 3 times as busy as what our airport is.
It's quite an issue, and we'll keep you posted as we get further information. In other news, well, the 5th annual Trask Art Show took place last night at the Canfield Casino in Saratoga. The event is a juried art show and fundraiser for the Saratoga Preservation Foundation. Now, the event provides vital funding for ongoing efforts to preserve the history and culture of Saratoga Springs. Well, we spoke to Samantha Bosshart. She's the executive director of the Saratoga Preservation Foundation.
Tonight is the Trask Art Show and Sale that benefits the Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation. We have over 50 local artists participating in 145 works of art, with Vista Lupi as our music tonight, and complimentary hors d'oeuvres and wine, and it's just a fun event for artists to benefit as well because they get 50% of the proceeds while we preserve Saratoga.
Well, congratulations to Samantha and to Seth and everybody involved with that show. Now, by the way, Matt Shinian won Best Artist of the Night. His work includes scenic depictions of landscapes that contrast light and dark colors. Well, we spoke to him about his winning piece.
Juniper Swamp Road in Salem, New York. It's a little dirt farm road and a nice spot. I generally drive around, park somewhere when I see something I like and paint off the back of the van.
And Matt's work is truly inspiring. You should see it. All right, switching from news to weather. Well, today saw some cooler temperatures in the high 50s, maybe even low 60s. Cloudy. Well, let's see how the weekend is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, the musician George Thorogood is in Glens Falls today, and he was named Honorary Mayor of the Day. Now, George Thorogood is playing the Glens Falls Civic Center. So Mayor Jack Diamond of Glens Falls named him Mayor of the Day in appreciation of George making Glens Falls a tourist stop. Well, we spoke to Mayor Jack Diamond.
Tonight is an exciting night, September 30th in the city of Glens Falls with George Thorogood and the Delaware destroyers gracing the city of Glens Falls with their presence. George has been a musical icon for many, many years now. I've enjoyed his music, and it was only appropriate that George Thorogood be presented with a proclamation issuing him a declaration that he is Mayor of the Day on September 30th, 2016 in the city of Glens Falls.
That's Jack Bad to the Bone Diamond, by the way. Up next, I sit down with Steve Rusbacki. He's a Green Party candidate, and he's running for the 45th State Senate seat. We're here to talk about his background and how that affects his political philosophy. I also sit down with Jackie Orr. Now, she's an athlete, and she's here to talk about her participation in the Wine Glass Marathon. This raises money for a rarely known but very serious disease called Angelman's syndrome. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Well, you can give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Friday. I got a lot of lookouts, so I'm going to move pretty quickly through this. First and foremost, of course, I want to thank the crew. That's Jesselyn and Drew and Andrew and Jack and Joel and Norm for making this program possible each week. Secondly, as some of you might know, my favorite haunt for lunch is Gaffney's, and this weekend, Kevin and the crew are heading to Connecticut in the big Northeast shootout for chowder. So I had my last cup of this Southwest shrimp chowder today, and it was fantastic. Best of luck to everyone at Gaffney's, and if you're in Saratoga, stop by and get a bowl of this soup. Thirdly, I twisted everybody's arm here and took them over to see the Beatles documentary, 8 days a week. And it's really a very well done documentary with restored footage and redone audio. The problem, of course, is that at the movie theater, I'm sure the audio for Ninja Turtles 7 is fantastic. You would have thought you were at a library. So maybe you want to get this on Hulu, set it up in your house, and blast the audio, which is what this deserves. Last but not least, political season is really heating up. We're hearing from a lot of people about what they think. So a couple of things to note. First, if you're a candidate and you're running for office, contact us, 798-8000. We'd be glad to interview you and do a profile so that the people in our communities get to know more about you. And if you're a voter, how about this debate this week? That was really something. And I know if you're entrenched on one side or the other, it doesn't make any difference. But for you independents, I thought as a video guy, it was particularly interesting to see the split screen. You learn a lot about people by watching them on video. And also make it a point on PBS, the Frontline show has a special called Choice. It's a 2-hour documentary that profiles the lives of the two leading candidates. Frontline on PBS. You can get it online. My wife and I found it very informative. I guess that's about it. But in our effort to try to tell you and be part of the community, so you know that people on the street have very differing opinions about the debate and about the election, we had our cameras on the street. And we're going to close tonight with what some of those people had to say. Have a safe weekend, everybody, and we'll see you Monday night.
More and more confident in Hillary and scared of Donald Trump.
Policies that I have heard, I've seen like comparison charts of the two, and I just agree with her more.
Quite honestly, not a huge fan of either of them. I don't really think they talked very much in substance about anything. I think it was more just them trying to get the sound bites in.
Basically, I saw Hillary being very condescending, and I saw Trump being attacked by Lester Holt.